Hello, humans. This is a good question, and just so you know, it was asked by someone who already knows the answer. If you don't yet follow 60-second doctrine, I highly recommend you do so. I place my stamp of approval on this guy. Now, in order to answer the question as to what makes worship biblical, well, we would first need to rightly understand the definition of worship. So, what is worship? Well, in the Old Testament, the Hebrew word shakal is used to describe a person bowing down or even prostrating him or herself in homage to royalty or anyone who possesses superior status. It is a sign of submission. For example, David did this to Saul in 1 Samuel 24:8 to declare that Saul was of superior status and David was of inferior status to Saul. Now, Ruth also did this to Boaz in Ruth 2:10 to showcase her humility and her submission to Boaz. Thus, this word portrays an action of humility, submission, respect, and even reverence. Now, the action itself is a confession that says, I am not the one who is superior. I will place you before myself. And finally, this action is one of faithfulness and obedience, as if to declare devotion to someone that you would willingly do what this person asked you to do because you are loyal to the one who is royal. However, there is another word used in the Old Testament, sometimes translated as worship, and this word is abad, which means to work or to serve. And this describes the action of a servant. Now, both Exodus 23:24 and Deuteronomy 5:9 use both of these words, shakah and abad, in a command that we shall not serve or revere false gods as if they were superior. And this, of course, is because they are not gods at all, but mere conjured creations that possess neither life nor will to create or command. It is for this reason it is written in Deuteronomy 32:39, there is no God besides me. It is I who put to death and give life. So, according to the Old Testament, worshiping God is to humble ourselves, recognize that God is superior, and to commit ourselves to devotion to Him in reverence and awe, willing to submit ourselves in loyalty in order to act in faithful obedience to His established laws. Now, the New Testament uses the Greek word proskuneo to describe worship. Now, this is a compounded word from pros and a probable derivative of kuon. The word pros means in the direction of, moving towards the object, goal, or the destination. The word kuon means either a literal dog or metaphorically an unworthy and undeserving person who is of lowly status. Thus, this compounded word describes a person of lowly status approaching someone of superiority, such as the king. Now, this word also describes a kiss, like a dog licking its master's hand. And so this is a description of one kissing the ground when prostrating before someone of superior status. Therefore, this word, like the Hebrew word shakal, describes complete submission. And so now that we know how worship is defined, what makes it biblical? Well, everything. One might argue that it is the very goal for which Israel and the church were formed. Worship is evident in both the Old and the New Testaments. True believers of God, Christians, will humble themselves, submit themselves to the Lord in complete loyalty, and dedicate their lives to faithful obedience as servants to the King's commands. In Matthew 4:9-10, the devil tried to convince Jesus to worship him, but Jesus, citing Deuteronomy 6:13, said, Go, Satan, for it is written, You shall worship the Lord your God and serve him only. So in conclusion, worship can be summarized by what Paul wrote in Colossians 3:23-24. Whatever you do, do your work heartily as for the Lord rather than for man, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the reward of the inheritance. It is the Lord Christ whom you serve. In the end, every knee will bow and every tongue will confess the Lord. However, Christians will gladly do this because of our eternal gratitude that the King died for servants so that the servants could become children of the King and thereby heirs to the kingdom. Whoever slaves becoming heirs to the kingdom. It is written in Psalm 45:11, Then the King will desire your beauty. Because he is your Lord, bow down to him. Oh yes, worship is biblical. And what makes worship biblical? Everything.